Hello and welcome everybody to Marketing Mondays. My name is Ira Bowman. I'm the host of this show. We come to you every Monday live at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, and we talk about all things marketing related. Today, I have a very special show for you in store because if you've been following me on LinkedIn for the last couple months, you know I'm writing a book called Business Tips from the Trenches, expert advice on starting your small business or side hustle. And I have with me today the co authors of the book. We're getting set. Everybody should be fired up and excited because the final version of the book, all the edits, so the chapters are in, the editing's done, everything's off and getting ready to get actually printed. It's going to be amazing. You're going to be able to find this book on Amazon. So what we're going to do, we're going to talk a little bit about the book and what's in it and what motivated these fine folks to join me in this venture. We're going to have some bonus material today. But before we do all that, I want to circle around the room. Am I on mute? No, I think the sound should be up. Somebody's asking me, is there sound? Amy, there is sound. So if anybody else in the comments can confirm that, that would be great. But Amy sometimes has trouble with her sound on her device. Not to call her out, but I love her to pieces. She's one of my good friends. All right. So yeah, we're excited too. Absolutely. So let's do this. I'm just going to go in order as I see everybody on my screen. So I'm seeing Joel. So Joel, we're going to go first. Joel, can you do me a favor? Just like a 60-second intro of who you are, what you do, and then we'll get into what motivated you to do the book stuff in a little bit.
Perfect. Thanks, Ira. So, yeah, really excited to be here. Really excited to be part of the book. My name is Joel Phillips. I am CEO of a company called ProShark. We're a software, website, mobile application, automation development company that does digital marketing as well. And I've been in business, been an entrepreneur for many, many years. So, really excited to jump in and share what knowledge I've gained over the past many years and go from there, and really excited to be associated with all the people in this room.
Yeah, me too. And it's funny, you should be a guest on my show another time because you're the kind of
Anytime you want.
yeah, you are the kind of people that we like to interview on the show. We'll do it for a full 60 minutes. So welcome, glad to have you. And you and I are partnering on quite a few things, including this book. You and I teamed up to organize this thing. So thank you so much for your help
No, thank you.
in helping me with this. So it's been awesome to be your partner, my friend. All right, next is Dion Tuplin. Dion is there in Canada just talking about football with one of her sons, and it's a real football for any of you guys who think it's a soccer ball. No, no, it's a real football. In Canada, they have funny rules.
Yo,
But, Canadians like to mess things up a little bit, but not too much. So, Dion, thanks for joining today, and thanks for being in the book. Can you please introduce yourself in 60 seconds?
awesome. Thank you, Ira. My name is Dion Tuplin, and as Ira said, I'm coming to you from Prince Edward Island in Canada. I have been an entrepreneur for about 15 years. I run an online wellness business from home, and it started around finding a way to work around having young children and providing a supplemental income. And I was real excited to participate in this book and the co-authors here. And yeah, so that's a little bit about me.
Awesome. Well, we're excited to have you all the way from Prince Edwards, Canada. All right, next I got on my screen Dr. Andrea Renee Rivera. She's coming to us.
Hi.
Coming to us
So
from
grateful
LA.
to be here.
Yeah, I'm happy to have you here, my friend.
I'm so excited to be a part of this too. I've been an entrepreneur for 31 years. I started my first business when I was in college when I was 19 years old. So I'm so excited to be a part of this book because I had a trial by fire without guidance experience. I was a kid and I had no idea what I didn't know.
Right. But
so
that as you share in the book, that is a valuable experience in itself. Sometimes learning by fire is not a bad way to go. So if you're watching this, let me encourage you. If you're watching this and you're interested in starting a small business or side hustle, you don't have to wait until you have it all figured out. Because let me tell you a little secret that most people don't share. You will never have it all figured out because things change. So even if you had it all figured out for yesterday, tomorrow, there's going to be a surprise that comes your way. Anyways, Dr. Andrea, we're super excited to have you.
yes.
Thank you. And you're coming from, remind us the city.
Yeah, Pacific Palisades, Los Angeles, California.
There you go. All right. It's not Tonya. It's Tanya. I mispronounced her name, ladies and gentlemen, for like, I don't know, 3 or 4 months. And she was always full of grace and style and elegance because that is just who she is. Tanya, welcome. Tanya 1, Tanya 2. I don't know. You're Tanya 1 today because you're on my screen first. Tanya Stoney.
Okay, I was like, "What's Tanya?"
No, I butchered them both. Yeah, in full disclosure, I did butcher them both. I said Tony for both of them. I don't know. Anyways.
It's okay, Ira. I think I can speak for the other Tanya. We love you too. We love you anyways.
Thank you so much.
My name is Tanya Stoney. I'm coming from Charleston, South Carolina, where I am the founder of Music Is For Me. We teach online piano lessons to kids ages 8 to 17. And I am excited, so excited to be a part of this journey with everyone and writing this book.
Awesome. And you do something that's really, I think, innovative. You do multiple students at the same time online, which you and I have
Yes.
talked about. When I was a kid, we had to go to the piano teacher's house, and it was always one at a time. And they used to smack my hand all the time with some type of stick because I wasn't doing my fingering correctly. But anyways, I imagine your students like it that you can't actually reach out and smack them.
Yes, no smacking online. No
All
smacking.
right, there you go. All right, Tanya number 2.
Hi, Ira.
Hello, my friend. Now I've actually taken. Did I take your photo? No, we were going to do a photo shoot and we didn't actually do it. We'll have to
You
do it. Next time.
didn't. So yeah,
Yeah.
so we got a rain check for that next time you come
All right.
back.
Yeah, next time,
Yes.
my treat for sure.
Awesome.
All right, so tell us a little bit about yourself, my friend.
Sure. My name is Tanya Baines. I am in Wilmington, Delaware. I am the founder of Tanya Baines Coaching. I have been a life coach I've done coaching in some capacity or another for over 10 years. I've been an entrepreneur for about 6 years. And in my coaching business, I work with people who are having a difficult time showing up as their authentic selves, right? When people look in the mirror, when what they see on the outside doesn't match how they feel on the inside. And that used to be me years ago. And so now I just partner with people and help them gain the confidence that they want in order to show up in a real and genuine way that just like feels good down on the soul level. And so when you asked me to come and be on this show today, I was super excited. So thanks so much for this opportunity.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. You are one of the nicest people I have ever
Aw.
met. Now,
Thank you.
one of the guys with maybe the most insight I've ever met. Love this guy. Can be difficult at times only because he has a very specific vision, but I love him to pieces. Sean Huber, welcome to the show, brother. Notice he's the only guy that has his camera vertical. Everybody else is sideways. He's vertical.
See,
But
I switch the camera if you want me to make
No,
it.
it's all right, brother. It's fine.
Hi, everyone. My name's Sean Huber. I'm the founder of Structured Freedom. We work on your mind, body, and business. Without structure in your life, you're not going to have any freedom. I'm also a certified medical hypnotherapist. And this opportunity was presented to me by Ira. Never written a book before. And he's like, hey, we got this thing set up. I think you'd be a great fit for it. I'm like, okay, what do I need to write about? He goes, well, something in business. I'm like, where do I begin with this? And what I is in life that team shows up in different areas from your business to your life. And it's really important to figure out where you're going to actually build that team and create the support system you need when you are down and when you're up. And these guys and women, men and women on this panel right here are all an amazing support team that gets behind you regardless of what's going on in life and is there for you. So I appreciate being a part of this community.
Well, you are a valued part of it for sure. So thank you so much. Tell us one more time, where are you coming from?
The Clearwater, Tampa Bay area in Florida, where I think it's about 115 right now.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, it's not that hot here I'm in the Inland Empire of LA. It's definitely gonna be over 100 degrees. I don't know how hot because frankly, at that point, we just stay inside. But it's a dry heat, as people like to say. So at least we don't have to deal with the humidity like I believe you do out there in Tampa. Wow. All right. Next is actually, I think Will, of all the people on the show, I've known you the longest. I have taken Will's photo. They're in Nashville, Tennessee. I did a photo shoot with Will. This guy is super intelligent, coming to us from Denver, Colorado, at least the Denver, Colorado area. And Will, I'm super excited that you were able to join. So give us a 60-second intro, my friend. Are you muted? He might be muted. Will, I think you're on mute, brother. At least I don't have the audio. All right. While you're doing that, Danila, we're gonna let you go, and then we'll come back to Will.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Good to see you all.
Hello.
Thank you, Ira, for having me here, for inviting me for this amazing project. As Sean said, I never have written a book, even though a chapter was amazing experience so far. So excited to be part of this group. I was reading all the chapters over this weekend. I'm pretty amazed. So really nice. Well, about myself, I am founder of Connect. I've been entrepreneur for the past 11 years. From Brazil originally, in Brazil today, but I live in Atlanta, Georgia for the past 10 years. That's what we do, helping international companies doing business in the US, mainly in the back office, helping them with the human resources.
Yeah. And you're definitely one, when I say football, you're not thinking of the right sport.
That now, yes. After 10 years, yes, but
All
it
right,
was
good.
difficult. You know,
Good,
what
good,
is
good.
football with
Yes,
your foot, right?
instead of World Cup, think Super Bowl, and we're all good.
Yes.
There we go. Or Gray's Cup for those of you watching in Canada, like Dion.
Yes.
All right. Okay, so that's actually, Will, give us a sound check. Let's see if we can hear you, brother.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Yes, we got you. Perfect.
Okay.
All right. Last but not least, my good friend Will Kralovec.
Yes, Ira, good to see you, and good to see everybody, my co-authors here. Glad to be a part of this group of esteemed business people. I am coming from Denver, Colorado, where I will say I just rushed back over here from the inauguration of our new mayor, who was just sworn in this morning. So it's very exciting for us here. After 12 years of this one mayor, we've just passed the baton. But I am a kind of a serial entrepreneur. I've been well, I won't say how many years because my first business was at the age of 12 selling candles at craft fairs. So since then, I've been in 6 different startup companies and early growth companies. I am currently founder and president and CEO of a company called JJK Places, PBC. It's a public benefit corporation, and it's a certified B Corp here in Denver, Colorado, with the purpose of doing social impact real estate development, which we can get into.
Yeah, you're doing a lot of really cool things. You're trying to do some amazing, like huge things in the community. So yeah, we can definitely talk about that. A B Corp is not something you hear a lot about. You hear about S Corps and C Corps, but not a lot about Bs. So we definitely will get into that a little bit later in the show. All right. So Sean and Danila have already kind of spilled the beans a little bit, but by way of hands, who here, this is the first time they've ever been published in a book? I know some of you have written before. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because Danila didn't raise her hand because I said she already did it. So 6 of us, this is your first time. Well, I am very honored and excited to be a part of that story from now through the rest of your life, that we were able to do this together. Super cool. And as Danila said, reading through what you guys wrote, I was amazed at the insights and some of the stuff that you guys shared and the openness that you had. So I'm going to ask you some questions. Now, for everybody in the audience, yes, I did pre-populate some questions and circulated it to him and give him a little time. So this isn't necessarily off the cuff, but the first question that I want to talk about, because the way we set this book up, and actually, let me share my screen real quick, and I'm going to show the people at home how they can learn more about what we're doing. So, share screen, entire screen. Business tips. There we go. All right. So we have a book landing page. It's on my website, bowmandigitalmedia.com. I will share that link in just a second. But this is the book. It's Business Tips from the Trenches. It's expert advice to start your small business or side hustle. If you're looking to make money faster by minimizing mistakes, reducing your learning curve, read this book. It will be available on Amazon next month. And if you want, you can actually sign up at the bottom of this particular landing page, and I'll send you an email and let you know once it's live, and I'll give you the link to the Amazon where you can go and get it. It'll be available as a soft cover and also as a ebook. So I forget what they call it, but anyways, here's the book cover, which I'm really excited that I designed this thing. Joel and I are the leads on this particular book because we organized it, but all our friends are there. Our foreword was written by former NFL superstar George Jones, which I'm excited that he got involved. But we have a video, a little bit about the preface. You can read all about the book. I've got the author bios here. So there are a few of us like Janet who isn't here today. She's in Bali, so the time doesn't really work out for her to join us. But I have all the author bios here. And Tia Christie is also not on our show here today. But there's everybody, including George Jones. And then I have the tips covered. This is the gold right here. So we're going to talk about this right now. So I'm going to switch screens back. And what I want to do, if you guys don't mind, we're going to go in opposite order because I don't want everybody to think that we can only do this one way. So Danila, we're going to start with you. If you can come off mute, share with us the 3 tips and just a quick summary of the lesson learned. So maybe like 15 seconds or so in total.
Okay. So my 3 tips is about, one is focus or fail, right? Talking about my journey to improve my business and not really focusing what is really matter, and then I fail, right? The second tip, trust yourself, really talking about my journey since I was a kid and the learning process, and also jumping, and do new things. So trying new things and never give up. And my third tip is about dream big, but keep your feet on the ground. So we are the size that we want. We can be whatever you want, but our dreams can be bigger, but our feet it has to be on the ground so we can achieve this dream as we go and as we try and as we learn. Is my 3 tips.
Yeah, 100%. And I look forward to people reading about that, in the book. And if they need help, want professional help doing that, Sean Huber is somebody that I recommend that can actually help you with that coaching that you would need if you need supplemental help with that, because it's important to keep your feet on the ground for sure. All right, Mr. Will, brother, the 3 tips and the lesson learned that you shared in the book. Oh, you went on mute. There we go.
Okay, there we go. My 3 tips are actually based on a book that I'm writing right now that will come out next year, called The Selfless Way for Business. And so each of them are applicable to a selfless business model that I've developed over the years. The first one is about values, that the importance of values being used. A lot of people have values, but they oftentimes, I contend, they leave them on the shelf and gather dust. Second one is about the selfless way. I say begins with the self, and it's really about self-care and having morning routine and things of that nature that will help not only the entrepreneur but also the business as it grows. And then third one is about business not being a zero-sum game. Most people view business as a competition. The Selfless Way is all about collaboration over competition. And so my third tip is to adopt a selfless way in business. And then my lesson learned is about kind of continues a little bit on the path of collaboration, is about entrepreneurs who go it alone, and the difference between a business owner and an entrepreneur, which has a distinct difference. And so that.
Let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah.
Just like 30 seconds, and I can help you if you need it, but 30 seconds.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What's the difference between a business owner and an entrepreneur? Because I get asked this every day.
Sure. A business owner generally creates a job for themselves. They are usually the first one in the morning, last one to leave at night. I contend that a lot of business owners actually create a prison for themselves. Where an entrepreneur from day one is starting to put.
I was one of those.
Yeah.
I can attest. Yes.
I was too, so I know it all too well. Entrepreneur is someone who is looking to put processes and procedures in place from day one, and really get to a level where they're working on their businesses rather than in their businesses, and really getting to a stage where one has multiple passive streams of income rather than solely one job.
There you go. All right, perfect. That way, if anybody had that question and they didn't want to ask it publicly, now they got the answer. All right, Mr. Sean Huber.
So the three that I focused on were understanding the first one, the path to greatness, knowing how to balance teamwork and the knowledge that you have and how to use it correctly in a way that you can grow it where you're not just creating a job for yourself.
Yeah. So kind of covering what Will talked about, and I talk about it as well. This is an important one, folks. If you haven't picked up on that by the number of people that kind of share something along these lines, and the stories that we share are different, but it's a big one. If you want to be successful, you gotta escape the prison, or just don't create it from the beginning. So that's a big way to help you right out of the gate if you're new at this. All right, what's the second one, brother?
That's beyond monetary pursuits. So basically, when you're doing what you're doing, if you're doing it for a paycheck, you're just going to get burned out in a way. You have to have passion about wanting to share your knowledge with people so they can get the success without having all the things that you went through that maybe were the hurdles and bumps and bruises as you went through it. Because passing our knowledge on is the only thing we're going to really be known for after we leave this place.
Yeah.
And the third that I really want to talk about is thriving in your business without burning out. And a lot of times that we think we need to do this hustle and grind, and we realize that we're putting all our energy and effort into the business and we're missing out on personal care, our families, our friends. And you get to a point where you're like, who am I? And most of the time people think it's the business they do. And when you take that away, they have no really connection to themselves. So it's figuring ways in which to work less with more quality time being put in for the time that you are putting in, and getting great return on your investment.
Perfect. And the lesson learned?
So the lesson that I want everyone to realize is this support system is huge. A lot of times in business, we're the ones out there doing everything and wanting to, well, I got this, or I don't necessarily know if they're going to do it correctly, so I'm going to jump in. And it's realizing if we've taught our team, or we brought in the right people who have the same core values, that when we're off, they're there to support us at the same time. Because a lot of times we're just pushing so much, we're giving, and it's difficult for us to receive. So the big thing is, the takeaway is learn how to receive so you can give actually more.
Yeah, perfect. Love it. Tanya Baines.
That's me. My tips. So the first tip that I have is be selective in your partnerships, in your relationships. I think I realized when I was writing my tips, a lot of them are for that brand new business owner, that brand new entrepreneur. You know, a lot of times we just want to take the advice of anyone, take the help from anyone, but really, you know, it's okay to be discerning and ask yourself, you know, do I see myself partnering with this person, you know, and over 10 years, over the long term. So really being selective about your partnerships and your relationships. My second tip was to master your calendar. You know, we talk a lot about working on your business, working in your business. Well, there's your business, there's your family, there's your personal, there's your health. And things can get overwhelming really quick when that business venture really starts to pull on your time. So learning to master your calendar very, very early. That was my second tip. And the third tip is fall in love with outsourcing and fall in love with automation. They can really, really help you. You know, like for me, I'm a solopreneur. I do life coaching. I work for myself. I don't have this massive team, so I outsource. You know, my marketing. I use automation to respond, and you know, there's a lot of things I outsource in my personal life, and those can be the things to help you save your time because you know, time is your most valuable asset, and when you're working for yourself, anything that you can do to help you get back more time, do it.
Let's say that once more for the people in the back. The time is the only resource, the only asset you have that you can't get more of.
Cannot, is non-renewable.
So, yeah, it's
That's
great.
right.
All right. What about the lesson learned, my friend?
So my lesson learned, and I didn't want people to take this the wrong way because I am a coach, but get a coach like yesterday,
No,
ASAP.
100%. Yeah. Tiger Woods had a swing coach his whole career, like his whole career. You're talking about the most dominant golfer maybe in the history of golf who has a swing coach. Steph Curry, probably the best shooter in NBA history, really has a shot coach. Coaches are not just for novices or people who are coming up. They are for the elite as well. So don't let your ego get in the way of, I have a coach. In fact, I have several coaches, right? I mean,
right. So do I. And it took me, unfortunately, too long to learn that because, you know, I think it's a little bit different because I am a coach and I was thinking, well, I'm a coach. I'll just coach myself through it. No. So my do-over, if I could go back, I would have gotten my coaches much earlier.
Let me add a caveat to that. I have found that your coach shouldn't be in your inner circle close friends, at least when you start the relationship. And here's why. Because sometimes those friends are afraid to say something that'll ruin the relationship. You need somebody who has the ability to call you on the carpet.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I would agree completely.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you, Tanya Stoney.
That was awesome. That was awesome. My first tip is running your business like your ministry. Basically, that's just treating people how you want to be treated. The golden rule.
Yeah.
Number 2 is what was it? Hold on. From distraction to focus. What that
is
means.
so ironic based on what just happened.
Thank you. Dang, yes.
All right.
Yes. Okay. From distraction to focus. The power of now. Really, like when we're with our family, be with your family.
Yeah.
When you're at work, be at work.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Who set up the lighting in your background? Was that you?
My 13-year-old.
I was gonna say somebody has got a future in set design. I'm just telling you, that looks really good.
Yes, that goes back to Tanya. Delegate. Yes. Tip number 3: invest in yourself. The power of investing in yourself and building intentional relationships.
We have a fan of Tony Baines because we have another solo entrepreneur, or solopreneur is the fancy way to say that, my friend. This is from Maureen B. Just a quick tip, Maureen, if you're watching this and you want to improve the way you're viewed off of LinkedIn and like on Google and those things, go into your security settings and update it so that third parties can see it. Then we'd see your picture and your name here on our screen. Yeah, outsourcing is the extended team. Okay. Continue, my friend. Sorry.
Awesome. And my lesson learned is just I dare people to succeed. Just go out, launch your business, go past the self-doubt, your fears. Just do it.
If you can dream it, you can achieve it as long as you put some strategy and effort behind it, right?
Yes.
And a lot of times that strategy is going to come from that coach that Tanya mentioned. So there you go. That's how it all comes together. All right. Dr. Andrea Renee Rivera.
Hi, everybody. So I'm a doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine, but that isn't what I have always been. My first business when I was 19 was a jewelry designer manufacturer, and I sold to department stores and boutiques all over the world. And I had celebrity clients, and I had my own freestanding store, and I had a website store. And you see, there's many things I listed here, many full-time jobs. And so now I help people design lifestyles to keep them healthy. And you probably all have heard this idea. I always thought it sounded pretty cool. Work-life balance.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of fun. And so my first tip was remember for marketing that you are your customer. So people can I spent a lot of money trying to figure out who my customer was. I transitioned into being a business coach before I became an acupuncturist, because I became an acupuncturist because I realized our health and well-being is the foundation of our lives. If we're going to be effective in all of our relationships, personal and professional, if we are healthy and operating at peak performance, that's a lot easier. And so I made the whole journey from overworking workaholic into being healthy at 50, healthier than I was when I was in my 20s, when I did 80, 100 hours a week without a vacation for 4 years.
Yeah.
So you can be for others what you didn't have, as far as that mentorship idea, as far as getting guidance, as far as getting help, like you said, getting the strategy that you can't possibly imagine that you would need, because you have no idea what you don't know. And you have a very blinder type kind of tunnel vision point of view to what your experience is. And you don't even necessarily understand the stage of life you're in, let alone the stage of business you're in. I didn't know the rules of the game of business or the rules of the game of life. And so I'm inviting you guys to consider that you are your customer, and you only have to be one step ahead of anybody to turn behind you and see somebody's behind you and give them a hand so
That's
that they
right.
can come walk next to you. So you don't have to be finished. We're never finished. I really want to throw back to, we're always learning, we're always growing. And that's the thing about you are your own customer on your own journey as a human being. So you grow and develop yourself. You
All right.
walk, you talk.
Quickly, what's the second tip?
Research your market, know what you're doing, and also price your prices, know what your cost of business is. I gave several things in the book. Make sure you make money.
Perfect.
I just want to make sure you don't go out of business.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to succeed if you have to shutter your
It's
doors.
really, really hard. And then the third one is this idea as a solopreneur in a private practice, many people that I know are islands, and island syndrome is tip number 3.
Yes.
You can make win-win relationships. You can grow together, make money together. It's a referral world. It's not about being your own island, trying to do everything by yourself. Don't
That
do
is
it.
that is the way, Tanya, when you say you're a solopreneur, in a sense,
Mhm.
you're not,
Right.
because you're sourcing the things that you don't want to do or don't have the time to do or the knowledge to do out. And those people are other islands that you've, to use the metaphor that Dr. Andrea Renee Rivera just said, you're connecting via bridge or ferry or however you want to, illustrate that in your mind.
And the key point here is it's not just about getting a team, it's about working with colleagues. So
Yeah.
get out of this idea that we're competing with anybody. We're
Yeah.
not. We're unique, and
Look,
we can join forces.
I have this show. It's called Marketing Mondays with the Ira Bowman. You guys might have heard of it because you're on it. But what is this show? What I normally do, I bring in other marketing professionals and I interview them. And for 60 minutes, we talk all about them and their business and all that stuff. And where does it go? You ever thought about that? It goes in front of my audience. What do? I run a marketing firm. Is that crazy? Well, it could be if you don't understand how it all works. But to your point, right? Work with colleagues. You'd be amazed how many people like Joel and I will send each other information, because there's people that his business is not set up really to handle. And there's people that my business is not set up to handle. And I would rather send them to colleagues and friends. And we're not even frenemies. We're just colleagues at that point. It's amazing. And when I need a hand, I can call Joel. Like, Joel, I'm in a pickle. This email's not going through. I think I've been blacklisted. I don't know what to do. Guess who could handle that? Like, he's my go-to guy for that. That's just one example, but you understand what I'm saying? Get out of this fear mindset, this shell where you've got to guard everything. No, not everybody's out to get you. There's a lot of good people out there. Now, if you find somebody is a vulture or unethical or whatever, then don't associate with them, obviously, right? But you'd be surprised if you're friendly and you make yourself friendly. You'd be amazed how many friends you can make and how much help that can be in a pinch, not just to your pocketbook, but to your mind. Like, I don't have to freak out because I got somebody. Joel is probably the number one thing that Joel is for me. Is a great sounding board because he's in my industry. He understands my challenges. He has a different set of experience and knowledge set than I do. And so collaboration is a great thing on a variety of ways. So,
And that's a long-term relationship that grows, and you can
Yeah.
benefit and add value to each other's both personal life and business and do projects like this together. And then you can pool all of your resources, and that reduces your overhead and enhances all of your referrals. We're never going to be all things to all people.
Yep.
We're always going to
Well,
have.
plus Ira's more friendly than I am.
Well, he's
Sometimes.
a good buffer for you. He's a good
Sometimes.
man.
I could be grumpy too, but that's not my normal. It's not my normal state of mind. These authors will tell you behind the scenes, like Ira can crack the whip a little bit, right? Like, I need your bios now. No, who was it that wanted to send me 500 words? Oh, that was another book. But Rick, my buddy Rick Loke, wanted to send me like a bio that was 500 words. I'm like, do you not understand 100 to 200 words? Like, I mean, come on. Anyways, love you, Rick
This is
Loke.
great because this is what it is these are the rules of the game of life and business. And that was really my lesson learned is really clarity is king. To know yourself, know what your strengths are and your gaps, how you can fill in for others and they can fill in for you. And know that this game works on community and relationships. We're in a social relationship game.
If
No
you
solo.
if you figure out ways to help other people, I
Yes.
promise you they will take the time to figure out ways to help you too.
Always.
So give first. Don't be the guy that's or gal, right? This is not gender specific. Don't be the person that's always waiting to return the favor. Sometimes you got to pay it forward, right? That's life. Good human beings do that. All right. Thank you, my friend Dion.
Yes. Well,
So the three tips you must learn.
The 3 tips on this. Okay, I just want to preface it to say when I was struggling to do the tips, and then you said, "Oh, you can make it in first person." I said, "Oh, perfect. Storytelling, no problem." So
I think it's
tip,
gonna the chapters that are written that way, I think are gonna be the best received. Because people relate to the stories.
To the story. So mine were based on in the storytelling version. So my first tip is to believe in yourself and know that you're here for a purpose. You have something to bring to the marketplace or to your niche. So believe that you can do it. My second tip is make personal development your friend. Oh gosh, kind of going along what Tanya Stoney said about investing in yourself, that personal development, learning from other mentors and those who've done most of the hard work, and you can go back and read their lessons and go through their modules and rinse and repeat. That'll help you get so much better. Because so many people think that, oh, you just go to school and that's where your education is. It's like, you're constantly learning just to keep remembering that and always growing on working on yourself. And my third tip is being an introvert has its benefits. And Ira loves to in our little group, like, Dino's a little introvert,
Oh, you're
but
gonna bust me now?
she's got lots of things to say. So,
All right.
but
it
I
is true.
thought,
Look,
okay, there's some taboos. There's taboos about introverts because most people look at, think that the world is full of extroverts. But what I found is that a lot of the well-known minds out there are introverts. So know that.
Let me pop in. Let me
you
pop
as
in
an
here.
introvert, you have something different.
I want to tell you guys something about introverts. So why are introverts a very valuable commodity? And if I had to pick between being an introvert and an extrovert, I would choose introvert every single time. And I'm going to tell you why. So in sales training, and I did sales business to business sales as a career for 20 years. Okay. Almost every one of these trainings that you would go to or you would take online or whatever, read a book, they almost always contain this one smack you in the face fact, because sales folks don't typically have this. But you have two ears and one mouth. So talk less, listen more. What makes introverts so exceptional is they listen before they speak. That's an invaluable tool. So if you're listening to this now and you are wondering about that, you should listen twice as much as you speak. And when you're waiting, when you're listening, don't just wait to say the next thing, right? Actually hear what they're saying, digest what they're saying, and that's what you do so much better than most people I know, Dion.
Thank you very much. Now, in
Yep.
terms of my lesson, the big lesson for me is learning to ask for help. Now, the whole and
That's
Dr.
a tough
Andrea talked about the whole island. A lot of us live on an island, and sometimes when you're in business, you think, oh, you're the business person, you're in business, you're supposed to have all the answers, but it's okay to ask for that help, because it's okay to not know. But and it's kind of that 20th century mindset where it was top down, I'm the boss, you listen what I have to say, as opposed to saying, you know what,
Yeah.
I don't know, I need some
Yeah.
help, so please help me. And you'd be surprised how quickly people are willing to help, especially if
Yeah.
you're willing to give.
Yeah. Well, and
So
this is where those
those are my
relationships
three
come in.
tips and lessons.
If you're doing this island building, connecting, bridges instead of trying to build a wall and be a fortress unto yourself, but if you open up to people, that relationship, like, look, I could call any one of you and I wouldn't hesitate. If I had something that I knew you were an expert in and I was struggling with it, I wouldn't hesitate to pick up the phone. I wouldn't even text you. I would just call you. Right? Why? Because we built this relationship over the last several months, even more so than the year or so that we've been hanging out in our group. So, look, if you struggle with that, if you're like, no, man, I'm supposed to be perfect. Nobody's perfect, bro. Nobody has got it all figured out. Nobody has got all the answers. And even if you're good at something, you might not enjoy it. So, figure this out. Everybody in this room will agree that you're better as a team than you are as a solo flyer, for sure. All right. My friend, my partner, coming from like 20 minutes that way, Joel Phillips. Take the phone, my friend.
Actually, you're over that way.
All right. Well, it was that way for me, but it's that way for you. Okay.
All right, fair enough.
Sometimes we do this. Wait, I gotta do it this way. We do these high fives every once in a while.
Wait. No.
Other side.
There
There it
we
is.
go.
Anyways, all right.
So let me, before I get into my 3 tips real quick, let me just exemplify something that actually all of us have been talking about. I've been in business, I've been doing technology for more years than I care to remember. And the thing about collaboration, the thing about having a team of people that you work with, is I am in a group of people here that I have learned so much from. And you never stop learning. I think to Dion's point, you never stop learning. And to Dr. Andrea's point, it's like when you create the right business, then you create something that you love to do, but make sure that you make money doing it. My 3 tips are: most businesses don't fail from lack of funding. They fail because they don't create a culture of revenue out of the gate.
Yeah.
It's, if you are going to go into business and you do one thing, create a culture of revenue right out of the gate, from the get-go.
Yeah.
My second tip was that and this is putting my technology lens on, your digital footprint matters so much more than you know. And most people think of a digital footprint, oh, my website. It's not. It's your website. It's your social media. Do you know that almost 30% of small businesses out there don't even have a website?
Crazy.
And it's nuts, because you have to have that digital footprint, because most people start their shopping experience online.
Yeah.
Most people, and they do it on their mobile devices nowadays.
Yep.
So if you're not tuned to that, then you're missing out on a huge segment right from the start.
Missing the boat before you even get going. That's
Yeah.
yeah. You took the train in a town that didn't have any tracks.
Exactly. I mean, the water went out before you got under sail
Yeah.
to keep it in the boat world. So the third thing was that most people that I talk to, and it's probably you as well. I mean, and there's probably people in this room that their technology manages them. They do not manage their technology. And you have to understand that you'll never win when it comes to technology, ever. You have to pick the right thing for you. And if you don't have a partner to help you do that, that's why I'm here, is to help people build their tech stack in a way that makes sense for them and their business, because it's not the same for any two businesses out there. So
For those
understand
for those who are watching who don't know what you mean by tech stack, because I think it's so important. Just like, 15 seconds. What is a tech stack?
a tech stack is every piece of technology that you have in your arsenal to help you do business.
Okay.
From your
So
website,
computer, laptop, phone,
everything.
right?
Right.
And then also your websites, your apps, any custom software that you've created, your CRM.
CRM, email software, everything that you have. And if it's not inventoried, if it's not in your arsenal and you don't understand what it does, then it's probably not something that you need.
Okay.
So
And your lesson learned?
lesson learned goes back to number one, because one of the things, and I don't want to spoil the book, but one of the things that we started off on the wrong foot. We're a development company. We started off with a lot of funding, and it nearly killed us because we didn't have a culture of revenue.
The pressure to raise sales wasn't there because you had money in the bank to rely on.
Exactly.
Yep.
And
Yep.
a lot of people start off funded and they kill themselves.
That is a huge culture issue. If you guys didn't just hear that, I need you to hear it. Read this book just for that. It's worth every penny and then some. I promise you. You need to start. Now, Joel says it from a point of revenue. Let me say it in a different way. You need to have people who are accountable for the income that they're driving, the sales that they're generating. Every person has a responsibility, a role in your sales function. Now, some are direct contributors and some assist in it, but everybody should be working on something that generates money. If they're not generating money, if they're not generating money, then you need to either adjust their responsibilities or cut them loose, because that's liability only. You need to have income on your mind. All right. I'm going to share mine real quick. Tip number one I shared is, if you spend all your time working in your business, you won't have time to build it. Let me explain real fast what I mean. If you're doing the day-to-day tasks, then you don't have the time to do the vision stuff, to relationship build, to create partnerships with vendors. You need to spend time on those things, thinking about where the business is going, thinking about where the trends are going, figuring out the new problems that your clients or your prospects are having. So don't focus all your time on doing the tasks that you get to invoice. That's what the team is for. And let me clarify, they don't have to be W-2 employees. They can be 1099 employees or partners or outsourced white label partners. You don't have to do it all yourself. Okay. So I write about that in the book, and I write about my journey. I started my business. I had $12,000 in total, guys, in the bank. And I have, as you guys know, 8 kids. I have a high monthly expense. I would have been able to survive for about 2 months if I didn't make any money when I launched my business. But because I did what Joel said, I started from the point of, I need to make money right away. And everything was around revenue. It was revenue centric, sales centric. I was fine and actually never had to use most of the 12 grand I was able to leave alone. All right. Tip number 2 for me, being obscure is bad. You should not ignore your marketing and SEO. This is a similar point to what Joel is making, your digital footprint. Dude, it's a digital world. So Google needs to be your best friend. If you're not sure why, go back and watch all my YouTube videos and you'll learn why, right? I've got lots of information, but I write about it in the book. Tip number 3, this is so important. I crashed and burned after 2 years because I did not schedule time for life, including time for your family, dating your significant other, exercise, sleep, reading. These are things that you need to do or you will suck. It'll suck the life out of you. Everybody's going to hate you. Nobody's going to want to support you because you're just going to be a negative Nelly. Figure that out and fix it. Make sure I recommend a block schedule. I talk about it in the book. Make sure you figure this out and don't let the tail wag the dog. Make sure you are in control of your time and you're doing things on purpose, right? All right. My lesson learned. Okay. This is interesting. A lot of you might actually disagree with me on this, but I make a strong case for it in the book. Too many of you are focusing, and I actually made this mistake too, but too many of you are focusing on what you know your clients need and not focusing on what your clients want. Now, if you tell me that because you're the expert, they should just listen to you, I'm going to tell you that's great. But how many experts out there tell you to exercise, eat vegetables, take your vitamins? All of them do, right? There isn't a health expert out there who doesn't tell you some combination of those things. And what do? You drink soda, you drink alcohol, you eat a lot of junk food, you live on fast food, you might smoke something, right? Think about the city of Las Vegas as an example. They did not build that because you need any of the things that you do when you go to Vegas, but they built it very successfully because you will always find money for the things that you want. If you want it, you will figure out a way to get it. So if you can do this from your business, figure out your avatar or the mindset of your prospect, figure out what it is they naturally want, and create a marketing campaign centered around that. How you can help them get what they want as opposed to what they need. Now, I'm not saying you don't serve them what they need. I'm saying you focus on what they want, and then you sneak in the medicine with the sugar. All right? Do those things. I promise you it'll help you be much more successful, and you will find revenue comes in a lot easier if you suck at sales, which most people do, and that's okay. Focus on the wants, not the needs. You're going to be fine. All right. That took way longer than I thought it was going to. So I'm going to ask you guys if you can stick around. If you can't, I understand. We're going to go a little bit long because I do want to at least get to these questions that I had for you. So the second question that I have is, okay, actually, I'm going to skip the one about the first, if this was your first time, because we answered that by show of hands. So if you were going to give fourth tip, what would your fourth tip be? So somebody's watching this show. They're like, if they're still here with us after all this time, then they're in it, right? So congratulations to you for holding on. But okay, just around the bend, and I'll take show of hands because you might not have one prepared. So if you have one ready, raise your hand. Tonya Baines, I saw you first. Tanya.
This is my reaction time to hit the, you know,
Yeah,
the mute.
whammy.
Okay.
Hello.
Whammy, right? So my fourth tip would be, if you are going into business with someone, have a partnership agreement.
Yes.
I don't care if they're your best friend from second
Yeah.
grade,
Money
if
changes
they're your
people.
sister, I mean, or if you've met this soul off the street and you have imprinted on each other. I don't care. Create a partnership agreement. I have had experience where I had a business without one and a business with one. And I can promise you, you will never regret having a partnership agreement.
That
would have been my fourth tip.
That's a great tip. Dion, I think I saw your hand next. Then I saw Sean. Then I saw Dr. Andrea. So I'm going to go in that order. And Tanya. Okay.
Have an accountability partner or accountability group.
Yeah.
And
100%.
I will say that the Tanyas and I, we got together and worked on our chapters
together,
and
which I love
off
that.
of each other.
I was so confident when you guys set that up. I was confident that you guys would hit the mark. Oh, I think you froze on us, Dion.
But
Sorry.
and that's something that I've learned. Oops, can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah, you're back.
Can you hear me?
Your video had froze, but you're
okay
live.
But but that accountability partner, they will hold your foot to the fire and they'll support you in ways that you need. And if you're having an off day, it's so important to have that accountability to help you where you need
Yeah.
help. So
And
have an accountability partner.
they need to be free to call you out. Okay? So this has got to be one of those things where you extend them grace if they say something that hurts your feelings. Don't get pissed off. Understand they're doing it from a place of love, not from a place of
Yep.
trying to tear you down. They're
Exactly.
trying to exposing your weaknesses
Nah.
is the best thing anybody could ever do for you. Because then you can either plug it in with personal development, or you can source it, or both. And I've done some of those things. Absolutely. All right, Sean, you're next, my friend.
Fourth tip is every relationship is temporary. They're all going to come to an end. So enjoy it as much as you can. Get out of it what you can. Give into it as much as you can. And when it's done, before it dies, and most leave.
There you go.
Get on to the next one.
Love it. Dr. Andrea?
I really want to invite everybody to really, really focus on what your exit strategy is in financial literacy. I really want you to plan what happens in 25 years. I really want you to get serious about that. Many of my colleagues and friends over the years, I've worked in 3 different industries: fashion industry, entertainment industry, healthcare. I teach business acumen classes for this reason. People don't plan how they're going to retire. They have a private practice, they have a solopreneur, they can't sell it. Even if they try to sell it, they sell it for a tiny amount that's never going to pay their bills. Some people can't retire because they need that solo one-to-one income, and it caps your income. They also didn't realize there's stages of life, a stage to become a teacher, to become a mentor, not just be the doer, doing the work yourself. Grow other people up. Share what you know. That's a role that all of us really, honestly, I feel we're morally obligated to pass the torch.
Well,
to
as
other people to continue.
But as the leader of your organization, y'all, if you're listening to this, please pay attention. That is one of your 2 main responsibilities. Your job is to set the vision for your company and be that face, create those relationships. But also, your second responsibility is to build up your team, not just in numbers, but allowing them what they need, providing for them what they need to develop and grow. Because what's going to happen in 10 years if everybody stays stagnant? You think your team's going to be happy if they're doing the same thing 10 years from now that they're doing today? You should have a goal for them. You should know what their dream is, and you should help them achieve it. And then reach outside your organization, which I think is what Dr. Andrea was also talking to about there, and help some of these up and comers, because somebody helped you along the way, right? And that's just paying it. That's not paying it forward. That's paying it backwards. You're just not paying it to the person who paid it to you. You're paying it to somebody else, and then they should do the same thing. Love that tip. Tony Stoney, and then Will.
My 4th would be build your business around your life.
Yeah.
I know I did it backwards. I just said, okay, I'm going to start this business. Boom, let's do it. And then the business ended up running me instead of me running it.
Yeah.
So
I think that's very, very common. 100% common.
Yeah.
All right. Will, my friend.
Yes. My 4th tip would be do not start a business without a business plan. It sounds very elementary, but so many business owners and entrepreneurs do not start a company without a business plan, and particularly a competitive market study of your industry, what you're getting into. And I say that especially because I'm all about collaboration, and eventually you want to know who your competitors are, because you may have the best growth strategy of partnering with one of your competitors and building more synergy than you can going it separately and competing. So.
Yeah. And as Sabrina said here just in the comments right now, planning for the future as your industry changes, you make the shifts necessary. If it's not in the plan to I hate this word pivot, but to make these shifts, it can be a huge problem. And you might find, like you just said, maybe the best thing for you isn't starting a new venture, it's joining an existing venture. There's 100%, that's 100% true. So, okay, good. Danila.
Yeah, my fourth tip will be flexible all the time, right? We cannot control everything. Even though we have our business plan or strategic plan, we have always to review it, right? The goal is always the same, but it has different ways to get there. So my tip is be flexible, adapt, embrace change, as you grow.
100% true. Look, the goal, this is what I do, and these guys know this because they know me from behind the scenes, right? But what I do is I start at the end, and then I create or formulate the strategy from the end to the front. So to use it in this way, the goal actually is a set thing. That never changes. But the strategy that I employ is flexible, to use Danila's terminology. Why? Because things are dynamic, right? We're not living in a vacuum where everything stays the same forever. Things change all the time. So you need to be able to change your approach as needed. So if you want to exit your business and you know that your lifestyle, to continue, it's going to cost $10,000 a month or whatever, then you need to have a business and that's worth enough money or generates enough revenue that it creates that $10,000 a month. So that's your exit strategy, to use Dr. Andrea Renee Rivera's, fourth tip. So you can combine those and super brilliant. All right. Mr. Phillips.
Hello. So fourth tip, and this is actually kind of a combined fourth tip. So I'll make it as quick as possible. From day one, start building your assets as a business. Start building your assets. That can be a mobile application. That can be any number of things that you have that you can put in your coffers to say, I own this asset, because that at the end of the day and on exit is what you're selling. And that's what provides value to your business. But a little bit deeper than that, and to do this really succinctly, is from day one, collect data. Get the data on your clients, understand who they are. The more data that you collect, and this can be considered a business asset at the end of the day, the more data that you collect, the more you know who your ideal customer is going to be, and the more you understand how to improve your business. Because if you don't, and most small entrepreneurs or people starting their business don't have a mechanism for collecting the data on their consumers. And if you don't, you will pay the price down the road, because then your only advertising revenue or only advertising channels are going to be through the Google, through Facebook, through the big tech guys who could care less whether you succeed or not.
100%.
But if you collect that data and start utilizing it, you'll have business for the rest of your life.
Yeah. A CRM that you suggest for people if they don't have a good CRM?
There's several different CRMs out there, and really a lot of them do different jobs, but we're in the process of developing a CRM system that can actually reach out and do the email marketing for you. You can build websites, landing pages in it. It's called Impro. It's in beta still, but that would be the one I would recommend.
When do you expect that to be live?
By the end of this year.
There you go. Okay.
And so people can already sign up for it, and we already have clients on the platform. It's just a little rough around the edges still.
That's all right. Go to proshark.com, everybody, and sign up for that CRM. What was it called one more time?
Impro. And you can go to impro.proshark.com.
There you go. All right. Free plugs when you come on my show.
Free plugs, yeah.
All the time. All right. Mine is going to be this, and I almost put this in the book, but I had the advantage of seeing what some of the other tips were, so I saw it was covered. But communication is key. So never stop working on your communication skills. You need to go to workshops. You need to read books. You need to never get to the point where you're just dictating, because that's not communicating. Communicating mostly is, ears and heart, right? You need to be able to hear your people. You need to be able to hear your clients. You need to be able to hear your vendors when they're talking and they're struggling. If you come across as non-empathetic, if you come across as a tyrant, I promise you, you are headed for disaster. So never stop working on your personal development. That was somebody else's tip, which is why I didn't put that one in the book and I used another one. But communication is key. John Maxwell said it like this: not all readers are leaders, but all leaders are readers. And that's tough for me because I have dyslexia, but I did say it right. Booyah. Anyways, here we go. I have, full disclosure, a stack of 12 books right here. You can't see it because it's right above my monitor, but I am always, always, always reading. And I do it to help improve my communication, right? There's information that I learn that helps me. There's skills that I learn. There's observation tools that help me not only internal with myself, but also with my team. Learn how to communicate. It's a huge, huge plus. All right. We are over the time limit, but I do want one final question, and we're going to end with this question. So after we do the question, then I'll come back and we can do a, a little conclusion. But last question of the day is this. There are people watching this show right now, I know because I've seen them in the comments, that are either brand new in business or they are considering launching either a side hustle or a small business. So what tip would you like? Now, we've talked about a lot of stuff. We've shared a lot of tips already, but maybe an encouraging word or something that you would like to give to those folks to help them just to get from where they are to where they really want to be, a successful small business owner or entrepreneur. What final encouraging word would you like to share? Let's do this. I'm going to start with Sean. I'm going to work bottom and then up and then back down, kind of like one of those snake things. So we're going to start with Sean, then go Tanya Baines, then go Dion, then over to Joel, and work up to me that way. All right. So Sean, kick it off, my friend. An encouraging word for those watching who have yet to make the leap or just leapt. What would you like to leave them with?
Simple improvements are going to give you the best overall success down the road. So constantly just tweaking what you're doing, be consistent with it. You'll get there eventually, just one step at a time.
Perfect. Thank you. That was succinct as well. Tanya Baines.
Work on your mindset. People think failure is so bad. Failure is the worst thing that could possibly happen. I could fail. Well, no, when you fail, you learn. Everything that you do, every experience that you have is a learning opportunity in order for you to get better, for you to have more knowledge. So change your mindset around pretty much everything.
What is failure? Failure is actually only failure when you let it stop you. But if you take the opportunities to learn from those missteps, that's a better word for it, right? And that's from somebody who's worked on this in his own mind. Like, they're not really failures because they're just me figuring out a way not to do it. Like, what is it? Thomas Edison, 1,000 ways not to invent the light bulb. And then he got it. And guess what? I got lights right here. It
didn't work. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Great one. Dion, my friend, the introvert, one of the introverts in this room.
if you're on the fence about starting, just do it. Don't just jump right in and there'll be people there to help you. And if you're already in it, keep going. Again, the answer, what you need will come to you as long, just keep going.
You have the best background in the whole show today, and it's only because my logo is covering part of it. So you look really awesome with my logo. I think I'm gonna have to send you a backdrop. We can co-brand. All right. Joel Phillips, my friend. Encouraging word.
All right. So really quick piece of advice to every new entrepreneur. Number one, you're going to fail.
Yeah.
Number 2, it's okay. Yeah. Number 3, you're going to fail again. Yeah. Number 4, it's okay. Yeah. Number 5, don't give up.
Don't stop.
Because at the end of the day, it's the people who persevere who are the ones that are going to make it.
Well, and also, let me just add a little caveat to that. Be mindful of what's working and what isn't working, and don't be afraid to adjust. Don't be afraid guys, if you're out there, to adjust to something that isn't working. This is where, to Will's point, having that business strategy and doing that research before you get going is a good idea, because then you can know, well, how long should this take to work? So if something didn't produce fruit right away, well, maybe the industry standard is like a 12-month sales cycle, and you're only a month 2 and you're freaking out because you haven't sold anything yet. It's like, well, look, dude, it takes 12 months. So then But if you know the industry cycle is 2 months and you're 12 months in and you haven't sold anything yet, well, maybe it's time to 10 months ago, make an adjustment. Anyways, love it. And just as a caveat, I think we've learned in life it's about 6 or 7 failures usually before a business gets everything correct. So if you're only failed once or twice, you've still got 4 or 5 more to go before you hit that pay dirt, probably. All right. Unless you're smarter than the average bear, which can happen. There you go. Tanya Stoney.
I promise you, both Joel and Dion took what I was going to say.
100%.
Thanks.
Those thieves.
So if I can add anything else to brand new entrepreneurs, small steps. Okay?
Lighting tips. Let your 13-year-old light your background.
Lighting. Yes. Thanks, Ira. I can do that too. Let the young kids do what they do. Okay. Yeah. Use the young people. Yes.
Look, we could tie that into what Joel said too, right? About your media footprint. Look, some of these kids are way better at Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and all this stuff than you are. Don't get hung up on the fact that they're, under 18, and let that be a precursor to your success. My kids, some of them work for my business, some of them don't. But you know what? Though some of the ones that don't actually do more for me online than the ones that do work for me. So, anyways, there you go. All right, good tip. I'm glad you thought of that, Tanya. Danila, my friend.
All right. So I'm going to add just to one small thing, because I totally agree with what Joe and Dion said as well. It's focus on your purpose, right? Yeah. What is your passion? And really don't give up, because you're going to fail and you're going to learn. But if you know what you want, you write about your passion, just keep going and never give up. Right?
100%. Great job. Will.
Well, mine is advice is to embrace a social impact strategy. And we haven't had time to get into it, but social impact business is basically using business to address our global social and environmental challenges.
Yeah.
And we are heading that way in a societal mindset, and business is following it. I contend we're actually going through the start of a seismic change in the purpose of business. If you think about it, since before the time of Adam Smith, profit has been the sole goal of business. And now we're going through a stage where social impact is becoming a priority, equal or in some ways even greater than profitability.
100%.
So,
100%. Not only who you help, but who you serve and how you serve them, right? Are you being environmentally responsible? Are you hiring a diverse population? Are you serving everybody, right? Which would kind of gets into my tip, but I'm going to let Dr. Andrea go first. Thank you, Will. That was awesome.
Okay.
Don't steal my answer, Dr. Andrea.
Hey, I've changed my answer 5 times. You guys are throwing down some good stuff.
We do this at my house at night. So we have what we do is we ask, one person asks a question, and then everybody goes around the room and talks about their answer for that person. We do it youngest to oldest. So many times my answer gets stolen before it gets to me, and then I have to think on the fly, like, okay, well, that's taken, now what, right?
But it's great. You go deeper. And actually, I would love that I have the opportunity to say this. You become who you spend the most time with, virtually and personally in person. So choose your models. Choose your model examples and your mentors very well based on your values and how you actually define success. And look for people that really walk their talk, because you will become them. So be really serious about who you're listening to, the books that you're reading, the people that you work with, the people that you spend time with. You are becoming them. And are they really living the life that you want in the way that you believe is right for you? And if not, you might want to clean house about what you're watching on TV and the movies you're watching and the books you're reading and what you're talking about on the phone with your friends. Because
Yeah.
you're going to become it.
If you are what you eat
Yep.
physically, you are what you think mentally. You are
I
what
need
you
to say.
consume mentally, right? So if you're
Yeah.
listening to it, if you're watching it, if you're talking to people about it, you have a naysayer or a gossip, cut them out. Cut them out because that's poison in the well.
And when you choose a mentor, choose someone that's really walking their talk. They really lived a life in a way that you agree with your value system, and
Yeah.
you really want their life, like for real. Don't get caught up in all of the hype and all of the trendy stuff.
Yep.
Listen to people that really actually have the life that you want to be living.
It's
Do
100%.
will be successful.
For me, and I'm surprised this one is still available, everybody. Oh, you're going to kick yourself when you hear it. You're like, oh, yeah, that's an obvious one. Why didn't I think of that? Niche down a little bit. Don't over niche, but niche. What do I mean by that? Sometimes when, I'm in marketing and I ask prospects, who do you serve? Who's your client base? And they go, I could serve everybody. And I go, okay, well, yeah, that's like a bell curve. Yeah, everybody's on the curve, but you have a sweet spot. And then when you're launching, if you focus on that sweet spot, don't make it too big. Like, for example, with demographics, one of the things that I recommend is like this 15-year spread only. So figure it out. As a 35 to 50-year-olds, is it 15 to 30-year-olds? Is it, 20 to 35-year-olds? Why is that important? Because with some of the other advice that we've talked about, if you can narrow in on who you serve best, think about it like that. Who you serve best, who's your avatar or your prospect. You can figure out psychoanalytics based on their consumer patterns and behaviors, where they spend their time, what they spend their money on, their education level, what type of work they do. There's so many things that you can then start to focus in on that you can craft some really good messages that resonate with them right away. And it'll help you to hit a hot iron. Here's an example. If I'm trying to serve everybody and I have a generic message, what does that mean? That means really nobody's going to go, oh, I got to talk to that guy right now. That's exactly the thing that I've been struggling with. But if I can niche down a little bit and figure out this core group and what they struggle with commonly, like, for example, I'll give you one: website owners. Okay. By thinking about just website owners, and looking at some common problems that they have, too many people who have websites have set up their website like a brochure. It's all about them, the products, their history, and all these things. And what happens when people go to the website for the first time, they're just looking at it as, somebody's trying to sell me something. Instead, what I recommend people do is figure out the audience, figure out what problems they're having and how this company resolves them, and then use something like case studies and videos and craft messages centered around, here's your problem, here's how we help. Because they don't care so much about you and your company yet. They only know that they have an issue. And once they learn that you not only can, but have resolved that same issue for other people, then they're way more inclined to get a hold of you, because it's like, oh my God, I need somebody to do that for me. Joel mentioned tech stack earlier, right? Like, maybe I'm struggling with my tech stack and he's talking to other, showing me on his website how he's helped other people with that same problem. And I go, dang it, that's exactly what I need. And so I'm going to reach out to him more quickly if I don't know Joel. That's the kind of thing that people are looking for. So niche down, meaning don't try to serve, don't be everything to everybody. That's a major problem. Get yourself a specialty. Like Danila, for example. What does she do? She helps companies that are set up in other areas to handle their HR needs inside the United States. That's what she does. That's not what every company needs, but that's her niche. And if you fall inside that niche and you go to her website and you read the stuff on her page, you're going to be like, yeah, I need her help. Why? Because she niched down. She didn't eliminate everybody. She just found a core group to focus on. It's very smart. And that's the strategy that I want to leave you with. I'm going to give everybody just 30 seconds as a final farewell. Let them know where they tell them your website address so they know where to get a hold of you. Okay. We're going to go the opposite order this time. So Dr. Andrea Renee Rivera, you get to go first, my friend. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Yeah.
In any parting thought.
Yeah, you all can reach me at chillaxom.com, chillaxom.com. So I do virtual health coaching as well as training in person in my office and at retreats and live events too. So you can come and learn how to become your own medicine, live in peak performance. Come on down.
Wonderful. All right, Brother Will. Our little grid got mixed up, but I still remember.
Now you changed. People can reach me at my website, jjkplaces with an S.com. jjkplaces.com.
Perfect. All right. Joel, you're next, my friend.
So anybody that needs to reach me can do so through the website, proshark.com. I mean, that's for general information, whatever. If you have a question, I am super available. Joel at proshark.com is my email address. Feel free to send me a question. Happy to respond. Happy to help however I can.
Perfect. Tanya Stoney. I did it, Tonya. It just comes out, guys. I don't do it on purpose, I promise.
You're on mute, Tanya.
You're on mute.
Thank you. Yes, it's okay, Ira. It's okay.
I appreciate you.
You can reach me.
Grace is a great thing. Y'all see how that works?
You gotta love Grace.
I wouldn't be here without it. I promise.
There you go. All one word. Musicisforme.com. A complete
I love
sentence.
that. I don't think I knew that, but I love that. Musicisforme.com. That is a brilliant URL.
Thank you.
All right. Tanya Baines.
Tanya Baines, that's it. TanyaBaines.com is my website address. My email is Tanya@TanyaBaines.com. And you can find me on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook at Coach Tanya Baines.
Booyah. You know, it's funny. My mom called me the other day and she goes, "What's your email address again?" I go, "It's Ira@BowmanDigitalMedia.com." She goes, "Oh, I thought it was Ira Bowman at IraBowman.com." And I thought, well, that would have been a little bit, I don't know. What's the word I'm looking for? Like snooty. I don't know. Like I thought that was too much. I thought just my first name. I'm the only Ira that works for my company. So there you go. All right. Dion.
Best way is email, or so it's dtuplin@wedeliverwellness.com. And I'm on Instagram and LinkedIn.
Have you tried Threads yet?
No. I'm on
If
WhatsApp.
if you guys haven't heard of Threads, Threads is an app by Instagram, but it's great because it's kind of like Twitter without the hashtags right now. But when you log in, if you have an Instagram account, it automatically connects you to some of your Instagram following. You don't have to start from scratch, which is pretty neat. And I like it better than Twitter. When I tweet, I get very little actual, engagement. But when I thread, I don't know, maybe it's because Instagram is promoting us all just because it's relatively new. It launched last week. Anyways, check it out. It's called Threads by Instagram if you're looking. But you might like it. Anyways, all right. For me, you can find me at irabowman.com, but that is my photography site. So that's just more like pictures I take. If you want to find me on my website, you can always go to bowmandigitalmedia.com, which is my company name. You can also find me on all the socials. I'm on all of them. If you guys haven't heard of this one, I know a lot of people know about Linktree. There's another one like Linktree called Socia Tap. It's social without the L. Socia Tap. It's the same thing, and they have very similar services. But I recommend to small business owners, anywhere you can create a profile and have a link to your website, do it. So go to sociatap.com. That's my parting advice for y'all. Joel has a question before we wrap this show up, everybody.
Actually, no, I was just going to say, don't forget Danila or Sean. I know the order changed.
I skipped them? Well, it's because I don't like them. They're on my list. Let's go ladies first, and then we'll end with Sean. And thank you for helping.
Joe.
I didn't realize I actually didn't realize I did that. That's awful. All right.
No, that's good. So everybody can find me at Connect connect-solutions.us. My email is danila@connect-solutions.us, and Danila Palmieri on LinkedIn, and also Connect Solutions on Instagram and Facebook.
You could tell she's from Brazil when she says LinkedIn, because
Yeah,
she says
see?
LinkedIn.
Yeah, that's my
Yeah,
beautiful accent.
it is. It is. I won't give you so much gruff about football because the accent is beautiful for sure. All right, Mr. Sean Huber, talking about beautiful. This is a beautiful man right here, everybody.
So you can do it two ways. Go to structuredfreedom.com or Sean A. Huber, and Sean is spelled SHAWN. A is an apple, HUBER.com.
There you go. All right. Well, let me circle the horn here. First of all, Danila and Sean, I'm so sorry about that. I didn't realize I skipped you. I'm going to blame Dion for dropping out and coming back in. But that's all right. She's used to me throwing her under the bus. Whenever I need a volunteer to speak and nobody volunteers, I volunteer her because I know she's got it in there. All right. Where can you find out more about this book? Where can you buy this book? Let me share my screen just one last time and show you, just in case you missed it if you're joining us late. But the website, it's at bowmandigitalmedia.com. I'm actually going to show you how to get there too. So what you do when you go to the main website, and I did share this link in the comments for everybody, but what you want to do is go over to where it says Media Kit. There's a drop down. It's the first one. It's called Book Business Tips from the Trenches. That's just the title. The actual name of the book coming out is Business Tips from the Trenches, Expert Advice to start your small business or side hustle. This is what the cover is going to look like. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you can be the first to know when the book comes out. Just fill in, to Joel's point, we're trying to build our lists here. So fill this out, and I will send you an email. I promise I won't spam you. I actually don't send out any spam messages, which I'm very proud of that. But if you fill this out, when the book goes live, I will send you an email, or somebody on my team will actually do it for me. But, we'll send you an email, let you know where the book is on Amazon and how you can get it. Also, if you're interested and you send me a private message, I can send you the link to this video if you didn't get to watch the whole thing live. And I'm intending to take a copy of this video and actually put it there on that landing page too. So check that out. It's bowmandigitalmedia.com. Go to the media kit and then go to the drop down link and navigate to the business tips book, and it'll bring you there. You can find all the bios for every author, including the couple that weren't able to join us today. You can find their links to their websites or to LinkedIn, whichever we shared in their profile. And you can also learn more about the book. I've got the book preface up. I've got a video that I introduced what the whole point of this was. And like I said, I intend on putting this video here today about the tips. We've got the list of tips shared on that page too. So if you're curious before you buy the book, hey, what tips are actually covered, you can see how it will unfold. I have had a chance to look at everybody's chapters. I'm telling you all, this book is worth its weight in gold. I think what it will really be for people is it's going to be a reference guide. It's going to be one of those books that you're not going to want to put on the shelf. You're going to have it, next to your desk. You're going to want to reference it periodically, even after you read the whole thing cover to cover. All right. Thank you so much for bearing with me. We went an extra 30 minutes today. I don't normally do this on the show, but I think everything was shared was worth it. There are some extra things that I would love to talk about in a future episode. So we might do this one more time after the book goes live. My name is Ira Bowman. This has been a special episode of Marketing Mondays with Ira Bowman. Join me next week as we get back into our regular groove. What do we do on the show? We talk about all things marketing. So if you struggle with your marketing, join the show. Put it in your calendar. Every week we come Mondays, 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 Eastern time. You can time correct for wherever you're on the world. I am super thankful for everybody who takes time to watch the show. Thank you to all my guests and co-authors. These guys have all become my friends, so I am super excited. The book should be live in less than 30 days. If you want to get on that list and know exactly when it's available, fill out the form at the bottom of that landing page, and I'll make sure to send you an email as soon as it is live. Thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody. We all truly appreciate you.
Thank you, Ira.
Thank you. Love
Thank
you
you,
guys.
everybody. Bye.
Love you too. Thanks, Ira.